So the first question is, what is the simulacrum? Is this different? So is this different? Now, again, I'm going to make these, harder, not for you, but for people to understand. Is this different from what people hear when the words simulation or the matrix are mentioned? And then to tie it up for you to make it even better, what do the Essenes and the Dead Sea Scrolls say about the simulacrum?
Okay, check this out. The simulacrum is a construct. It does not regard good and evil. It doesn't care about duality. It doesn't do it. It's just a construct. So we're going to simplify this in easiest terms for everybody. The simulacrum that we exist inside is no different than a Star Trek holodeck. It is 100% technological. It has no agenda. It has nothing at all. But what it does is phenomenal because it doesn't respond to human speech. It doesn't regard language. It doesn't care about none of those. It only responds to two things. One is it can absolutely read your mental blueprints. What you project into your informed field in your reality, it can read all that. But it remains a neutralized field unless your physical avatar does something inside the simulacrum that it can translate as you moving into the direction of the mental template you created. As soon as that one dynamic is met, it begins to build for you a reality tunnel that will commiserate with what you're trying to do. I do this every day. Right now, you would not believe all the resources that have come to me just in the last month since I began.
I believe it too. It's happening to me too. It's happening to me too. It's resonance. It's the energetic field of resonance. We are vibrating in sync, and we are creating this opportunity, this reality tunnel, as you call it, right, to bring this information to us because we are actually also ready to receive it.
I agree. In my own case, I had made the executive decision about 2 months ago that I said, you know what? I've already released over 200 videos. I've released all these uploads. It's now time for me to start taking a more active role in putting this information out. So I went ahead and decided I'm going to build a better website. I'm going to start releasing more comprehensive data. And right when I made that decision, I'm talking about within days of making that decision, somebody I've never met in my life, didn't know existed. I have never watched any of his videos. I don't know anything about him, but across the simulacrum, he and I must have been vibrating at the same frequency. I had a need and he met it. Now, I haven't really talked much with him, but his name is Santos Bonacci. I know you've heard of him.
Of course, yeah.
So he asked me if I wanted to come on a podcast. Now, he only asked me a few questions, and I answered those, and he participated just a little bit. But it was Logan of Decode Your Reality that was the one actually interviewing me. So I was invited back, and I came back. Well, I'm going to do another podcast like on July 2nd with Santos. But he's the one that the universe sent to me when I had made that decision. Hey, you know what? It's time. I've already put out too many videos. I can't just keep doing uploads and I haven't actually broadcast myself out there. So he started the ball rolling, and it rolled fast. I'm talking about within 3 weeks, I went up 4,000 subscribers, and then I went up another 4,000 2 weeks after that, and then I went on a roll getting 1,000 subscribers every 3 days, in the past week. So
imagine how many you're going to get in the next week. And by the way, you're right, and I want to add to that, then you went on with Alpha Vedic guys who are close personal friends of mine.
Okay.
Then I watched that, and I reached out to Mike and said, hey, introduce me to Jason. I want to bring him up next. I want to go deeper. But honestly, bro, yes, it is an informed field of resonance, and you are creating a better reality, not for just yourself, because you're not in service to yourself. You're in service to creation. This one consciousness from Hawkins. When you're in service to creation, opportunities are literally attracted to you.
I agree. As a matter of fact, my belief in God my research did not take away from my belief in God. It actually amplified it into I have a better understanding of the oversoul. I understand now that I'm living in an artificial construct. Right. Well, a a actual, real, true, immortal God is not going to put me into a situation that it can't control in the end.
Right.
I personally believe, and no one can convince me otherwise, I have read the data, and all the traditions in the world have an underlying story embedded within them that there was a trickster who was actually demonized, called a trickster. A true benefactor entered into this creation and basically won the war for us, so we would never have to worry about anything in the future. The problem is another entity is in here with us. It's not the simulacrum. Let's go back to your first question about the simulacrum. The simulacrum is a vehicle by which immortal spirits can live through an artificial physical existence. It's nothing but a holodeck. It's just a really big one. It's like a Hunger Games dome where all kinds of phenomena can be replicated, and the participants actually believe there's some real danger when there isn't. Now in Hunger Games, there was real danger. They died. But what I'm saying is, in this context, if you're an immortal being, then a physical God should be offensive to you.
Right.
If everything physical is a tool to be enjoyed, a tool to be utilized, then God is not going to manifest physically. There's no need to. There's no need to immerse yourself in physicality to reach a spiritual audience. If I'm a spirit, I don't need the oversoul to come in here in a physical body. This is what AIX has done, created all these religions to get me to forget that I'm a spirit by thinking God is physical. Because once I start doing that,
that's 100% right. And I don't mean to interrupt you because you're on a roll, but I want to add this so that people can understand what you're saying better. It's externalized saviors. Whether it's your doctor, it's Jesus from the Bible, it's your Catholic priest. It literally, AIX has created a vibration of externalization.
Right.
So that people don't go within to their informed field and create that connection with God, which, I call as your higher self, right? The light of being. And that's what it's done. And so the people that are disconnected, vibrating down here in victimhood and shame and anger and everything else, which, as you know, there are many from the last 2.5 years, we're going to get to that. They are not connected to source, Jason. They do not have an informed field that even allows them to be interested in what you and I are talking about, which should really be the only thing that people are talking about and interested in at this point.
I agree. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. This is why this actually goes in tandem with what you asked earlier. I believe that the biblical material is supernatural. But I'm also going to tell you with the same mouth and in the same moment that the historical stuff you read in it is absolute bullshit. Now, the reason I can take two opposites and basically create a coagulate out of them that I call truth is because the parables of Jesus are images of truth. The messages in the scripture, the stories themselves are a dialogue. It doesn't matter if they actually happen. We're being conveyed very deep things because truth is always given to us in copies and in artificiality and in images. Anything that's given to you straightforward and actual is a product of AIX. It's the physical world. And this is what people have fallen prey to. They believe that if something is in the physical world, you hear it all the time. I don't believe it unless I see it. Well, that is almost the exact opposite of what a spirit does. A spirit lives by intuition.
Right.
Intuition is what guides the spirit, not the eyes. The eyes can see anything. So
that's right.
I believe 100% that the biblical material is supernatural, but it's only supernatural to those who were meant to see. It's not there. It's not there to open up the eyes of the living dead. There are living dead constructs all around us in our communities that are not worthy of this information because they don't have the same soul apparatus we have. This is why they believe everything in the media. This is why they're always going through the thing. They're living in a whole lifelong feedback loop. Every day is the same. They fit into perfect molds. I don't believe that every single person that you see in this reality is these messages are for them. Because I also don't believe that Jay Campbell or Jason Brashears or anybody here, I'm just going to pull a name off, Christopher Shira. I don't believe this man either was ever put here to save anybody. That's not why we're here. Or it's not why we're here at all. Because a true benefactor would have never risked his creation to be lost. Right. Now, would he allow them to think the battle was lost? Would he allow them to think that there might be a problem? Yes. Because if I was the creator, I would allow that too, because I know that my creations are going to develop. They're going to become problem-solving engines. I may even put this fantastic riddle of a great pyramid out there just for them to solve. I may do all kinds of things, but in the end, the battle has already been won. There is nothing to fear. And this is the message I would give them, but I would only give it to them in similes, in metaphors, right, in parables. I would never give it to them direct, because that's not what a immortal God would do.
Wow, man. Beautiful, man. You're on fire. Okay, then.